Hi there, my name is Dale Boyle, pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm with the Safer Spaces team. Safer Spaces provides professional development workshops, consultation services, and organizational assessments to support organizations and workplaces in being more inclusive to two-spirit, queer, and trans communities. To strive towards expand equity and equality, we often want to focus around the conversation that diversity encompasses who is at our table and who is accessing our services. Inclusion focuses on how we're going to be doing that work. So within Safer Spaces, it's not just about inviting the right people to the table, which is an important part of it. We also want to focus around how are we encouraging people to bring their full and authentic self to the service or to the workplace. And so diversity without inclusion is really a story of missed opportunity. We need to do both in order to achieve those organizational goals. At Safer Spaces, not only do we have professional development workshops to provide some knowledge base, but we also talk about attitudes and behaviors and supporting people perhaps being an unexpected advocate and an unexpected ally, starting to create an institution of change as they advocate for more inclusive services and practices. And that is how we can really move towards a more equitable and a more equal and equitable society. It's about how we do what we do, not just who we're surrounding ourselves with. In answering the question of how we see bias, discrimination, and equality within queer and trans and two-spirit communities, I continue to think about why does this work matter and why does inclusion matter. I think about how there are an inaccessibility for folks to access healthcare in our communities, how despite the recent advancements in human rights protections and societal shifts in positive attitudes, folks are still unable to access adequate healthcare services or fully knowledgeable and confident healthcare services pertaining to queer and trans inclusion needs. I also think about how our youth in our communities may not have the explicit support that they need of their parents or of their family systems and are still accessing support and social group opportunities to provide the support that they might not be getting in the home. I think about how there are people who are unable or uncomfortable to access public environments or navigate the city at large, whether it be public transportation or city streets, because there are still higher rates of violence and harassment that occur in our own backyard. I think about the impacts of history when we look at our older adult community, when we look at folks who may feel pressured to go back into the closet to ensure that their health care and their service that they're accessing at that time when they need services is not going to be jeopardized by disclosing their sexual orientation or gender identity or identifying the true relationship of their partner that they're bringing alongside them to access services or to live with along in that home environment. I also think on the impact of we have a highly educated demographic that we're speaking in regards to. However, there's high rates of unemployment. So despite a highly educated community, we're also dealing with a disproportionately underemployment demographic. So I continue to see those experiences of discrimination and bias as we look at queer and trans communities. And that fuels my passion around why this work matters and why we need to talk about how to foster inclusion within our organizations, how to build processes, institutional and systemic, to allow people to bring their full self to service and to work and to be able to not be concerned or fearful when they connect with community and when they connect with others and when they are able to finally comfortably be who they truly are. And that's the evidence that I see.